What's up, guys? This is Tim Ryushima, aka Static Boards. Shooting a quick little video here. This is probably going to be a multiple part little series about doing Substance Painter itself. Right now, I'm going to assume for this video that you have Substance Painter. If you don't, YouTube, there's a couple ways to get it for free, or you could purchase it. If you're a student, you can get it for free. There's a few little tricks and stuff, so just check out YouTube. I'll probably shoot a little video, or you can privately DM me, and I'll explain, my way of getting it. But I'm gonna assume for this sake of this video that you have Substance Painter. If you're not familiar with it, that's completely okay. We're gonna go over some stuff. One thing I would tell you to do is if you have Substance Painter installed, you're going to go, first off, in your folders, in your documents, you should have a folder called Algorithmic once you downloaded and installed Substance Painter. When you click that, it'll have Substance Painter in there. You'll see a bunch of folders. Your shelf is basically all your stuff, like all your materials, all your, presets for stuff, your effects, your LUTs, all types of stuff. So this is where you're going to add stuff. So like if you get materials online, you're just going to drop them in here. And I mean, it could be just raw file, like I know, like these SBS files, SAR files, or it might be folders with everything already packed nice and neat for you in there. Who knows? It just depends on what you download. Something I like to tell people is to go to it's a website, share.substance3d.com. It's run by Substance Painter by Adobe. Once you download it and you get a Substance, you make an account with them, and then you come here and you can go to like their materials, and they have tons of materials you can download and use. Fabrics is a big one that you'll go to if you're making clothes. You'll get a lot of cool stuff there. So just remember this: Substance Share is a huge thing. Big, nice free resource as long as you have Substance. So that's a cool thing, So, but what we're going to go ahead and do is open up Blender. I'm not going to go too in depth and crazy with Blender. You should already know how to set up a scene by now, how to at least have, an object, something. I'm not even going to bring the skater in because it doesn't even matter what size. So we'll just bring a plane in just, for kind of scale. All right, let's just make a simple rail. So we'll make a plane. We'll hit R, rotate on the y-axis, 90 degrees. Drag this out a little bit more. Delete. I'll delete the bottom edge now. Just delete your bottom edge. I always bring this to the floor. Oh, we forgot to turn on our vertex as usual. Turn your vertex on, G, Z, and then you're going to go down to the floor with it. I'm sorry I'm not using like my, here, I can turn on my hotkeys, but I'm not using, like, really explaining too much because, like I said, I'm figuring that you know what's going on here for the most part with Blender. But, anyways, let's get back to this. Shorten it actually a little bit. Okay, so now we have that. GZ point. Whoa, what is happening here? Z.6. There we go. So we get our rail height. I know it looks high, but that's just because we don't have our skater for scale. But I'm telling you, it's skater height. It's 0.6. So, right there. Okay. What if all transforms? Nope. Okay, so say you have a rail. For the sake of showing how to do multiple things, I'm going to make feet for this rail. Don't laugh because it's probably going to look really weird on a circle rail like this, but like I said, this is where you're going to have to figure out and get creative with stuff. I can't really explain and show you how to make every kind of rail and every shape. I mean, yeah, I understand, like, if you're trying to connect two things that aren't connecting, or you're trying to figure out, like, hey, how do I make this work with this? I get that, but, like, as for coming up with ideas, I mean, that's not really something I could do, So you're going to do the depth, So, I'm sorry, we went to object and we converted to curve, our line. So then we went to 0.04, 8 on the resolution. I like to shade smooth, object, convert back to mesh. Come over here, turn the normals on, or auto smooth on the normals. So there's your rail. Now for feet, I would just, well, something else, I'll wait on that. So for the feet, what I would do is just bring in a plane. Bring in a plane. Scale it, obviously, to how you want it for the feet. I'll explain why a plane in a minute. Oh my gosh. What is going on? Oh, I'm hitting the wrong key. Wow. Sorry, guys. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Obviously, you should know how to reshape something by now. So there's your foot. Go ahead and extrude this face up like that. Another little trick you can do is you can take this bottom of this rail here, highlight all the faces on it. You can hit Control D, hit Z, and just bring it up here. Make sure you got the whole thing. I'm sorry. Well, that's still selected. Hit P, selection. Now you just separated it from that. Now you're going to hit G, bring it down, and you're going to line it. Go under, G, bring it up, line it back up to where it was. Now you're going to tab, alt, click this top line, and you're going to go scale and scale it out a little, and you're going to hit F for face. Okay? But now the thing with this is you want to come down and take this other edge, and you want to make sure you bring it up inside of this foot here. And then the same thing with the rail. We're going to alt, click the rail, alt, and then we're going to bring this edge up too to hide it. Because we're going to delete this, so you're going to see the foot. And you want to make sure that it's hidden inside the foot, obviously. Now, when you do that, obviously this looks really weird too because it's on a freaking curve rail. But when you do this, you can do like I do. You can make a bolt, or you can download a 3D model one and add in your bolts or pins or whatever you want to add to make it look more realistic. You can mess with this. When you're done making these how you want them, shift click and do both of these. Well, not the floor. You just want this and the foot, shift, and then Control J. But before we do that, it is the same. Yeah, okay. Since this is a straight rail, if you're doing a kink rail, you're going to have to just reproduce this on the other side or something, like if it's different at the other end. Since this is the same, in theory, we should just be able to shift D, both of these. Actually, I'm sorry. Before we shift D, back up here, you want to click one, and click the other, and hit Control J and join them. Then shift D. Then we'll hit Y, bring it over here. And then we're going to hit R, I think Z180. Yeah, RZ180. G, and just hold our control, bring it back. And now we'll just line it back up. I think it's like that. Yeah. See? Just like that. Line that up. Bring it up. Oh. Hate when I misclick stuff. Bring it up. Bring it back. What the hell? Bring it back down. Snap it. Boom. And then don't forget, do the same thing over here with the leg. And this one's already done this time because you did it and attached it over there. Something else that I like to do, because it looks weird when you try to texture this. The leg in here that we just moved. Here, I'll bring it back. This leg here, when I bring it up, I like to snap it right here. In this case, with this rail, if you see when I snapped it, it's uneven because the snap is trying to snap it to this edge. So what I would do is delete that edge. No, I'm kidding. Hit Control Z and go back. You're going to hit Alt click this edge, GZ, and yeah, snap that using Control to there. Now you're going to come back down here to this edge. You're going to click face, and you're going to click all these faces. Okay. Make sure that's all you have selected. And you're going to right click and you're going to hit delete. There we go. There we go. So now when you look at it, it should end right there, but you won't be able to tell because, you know, the other thing starts. Sorry that was a complicated process. I'll walk you through it again on this side, and I'll kind of explain it more. So this one I already put inside. So we'll click. Okay, what I did was click the foot, hit H to hide it, click the rail, hit tab, Alt click the bottom, G, Z, bring it down like that. Then we're going to unhide the foot, tab out, come back up here, click our rail again, hit tab. We're going to Alt click this line, we're going to hit G, Z, and we're going to click it using Control, holding Control, click it, snap it to that rim. Then we're going to come down here, hit face select, and we're going to hit all these faces on this side. And then we're going to hit delete, and that's that. So now our rail's perfectly there. It's not it's connected to the feet. It looks like it's in there, you know, so you'll never even know kind of thing. But for this sake, I do have a screw to import. Obviously, if you have your own files, feel free to do whatever you want. I just have one ready for this tutorial. So you can bring in something like this, bring it over, rotate it, and then just kind of put it wherever you want, you know, make it however you want it. I like to do something like that. Oops. I like to join those two. And boom. That's pretty much it. Okay, so now we modeled something real quick. Kind of ran you through something you probably already know, but whatever, we had to do it. Delete our 4. Okay, so now we have our object that we want to do something to. To texture it, you have to break it up and set the textures in Blender already to make your life super easy when it goes over. So that's why the thing about clicking something like this, you know, picking a certain part and hitting P and going to selection and actually separating it from another piece is where textures will come involved later on with, like, that's why you separate it. So like you want your feet. These two, I'm going to have the same type of texture, and it's going to be probably the same. You know, I'm not going to really do much to it. It's just going to be a coloration of something. So for that, I'll click each of those and Control J and join those together. Same thing with the screws. The screws are all going to be one color, so I'm going to click them, Control J, which I already did. And then your rail's already by itself. It's a rail. So there you go. You got all 3 of your things separated. So now, like, we'll do the bolts first. You just click the bolts, go hit tab to go into edit mode, hit A to make sure everything's selected in edit mode. You want to make sure just your bolts are selected. Then you want to come over here to your material tab, click material. Don't worry about any of this. Just click this, rename it bolts. If you don't have a material here and it says new, hit new and name a new material for it. I'll show you in a sec on the rail and stuff. This one had a material on it, but you're gonna, make your material for it. You're gonna, while it's all highlighted, you have A, it's all selected. You're gonna hit assign. You're gonna right click. You're gonna go to UV unwrap, and you're gonna go to Smart UV project. Just click OK to that. So now the bolts are done. So now you're gonna click the feet, and now like this one has nothing. So when you hit tab and you're in edit mode, hit A, make sure everything's selected. Then you're going to come over here, you're going to click new, and then you're going to type in feet or whatever you want to call those, just to remember it. Assign, right click, UV unwrap, Smart UV project. Okay, same thing for the rail. Click it, Alt A to select all, come over here, I just type in rail, hit assign, Smart UV unwrap. Now we are ready to texture. In my case, I'm going to make this an asset, like for people to use. So, and you're going to want to do this too if you're going to use this for your map, obviously. Click your rail, tab, click your edge select, click your top edge. Yeah, you can get tricky. It's a P rail. You can get techie, so we'll do those two lines too. But go ahead and click your edges. Come up here, go to your SXL mod, make sure you're on metal. Boom, grind's done. And that's that. So now we can go up here. Let me real quick just make a folder in my assets. I'll just call this rounded P-rail. I don't know. I like to make a folder, and then in that folder, I'll make a folder called textures. Now what I do to keep everything together is I save my blender as a blend in that folder. Not in the texture folder, but in the rounded P-rail folder I made. So I'll save that blend, and then I'll export the FBX to that same folder. So that's how I stay organized. One thing we did forget to do is click up here and double check your backface cullings, which we shouldn't have any because I know what I'm doing with modeling now. So yeah. All right. So now we finished up Blender, and we have our folder with our FBX. Don't worry about the Blender file. That's just for if we need to edit it or do anything to it. Now I'm gonna move this off screen, but we're gonna drag this file into Substance once we open Substance. So now we're gonna open Substance Painter. This is a new update that I just got today, so I don't know if you'll see the same picture because the old picture was different, but that's a pretty cool picture. Somebody just made that, I think, in wood, the Substance Painter cover for 2021. I think it looks badass, honestly. It takes a lot of detail to do something like that. But, okay, so now you got your Substance Painter open. The way I have it set up is just customized. Yours might look a little different. I like to keep my shelf right here. Every window here is movable. Don't get scared if you mess something up, if you delete it, if you make a third row. It's not a big deal. It can be fixed. These windows here, if you accidentally hit X and close one, right-click up here anywhere. Or is it? Up here above it anywhere, and these are each of the windows. So like the layers window is there, your display setting window is there, your property window. So if you delete any, you can just click that and re-click it on, and it'll give you a movable window like this, and you'll be able to put it wherever you want it. So that's something that scared me a little bit in the beginning. I was like, wait, I lost what I was trying to do, like where'd it go? So definitely just, take your time. Breathe. Everything is fixable. The thing in Substance Painter is you can hit Control Z to undo, and you can pretty much go back like 30 something steps. I think it goes really far back. So like you can almost fix anything you do at the cost of fixing anything you did right after. But so now that we have Substance open, you're going to go ahead and grab your FBX file that you exported from Blender. Drag it into there. In this template menu, Squeegee, I believe it was Squeegee. No, it might have been somebody else. When I watched the video they had Unity HD render pipeline Unity 5. I don't have that. I have Unity HD Render Pipeline, metallic standard, or I don't know what the hell that means, but this is what I use. I don't know. It works, so yeah, use that. But I put it as HD Render Pipeline, rounded P-rail. That's our file we bring in. Don't touch anything else. Okay. So there's our beautiful P-rail. Okay. Now you'll see down here in the bottom right, there's a texture set list. This is why we broke it down before. Now it's broken down, and it's going to be so easy to texture it. Like literally drag and drop 3 things and done. So I know what I'm looking for because I've done this a million times, but I always click this little box and exit it, and I type in what I'm looking for. So like metal, and like I know I'm going to go with this dark metal on here. All you do is drag it, boom. It'll show you what you're going to drop it on, and boom, drop it. It's literally that easy. So you can see it's even textured out itself with scratches. It depends on which one you grab, obviously, or use. You can lay them on top of each other and add more and more stuff, more and more layers. Inside the layers here, I'll show you. Inside the layers here, when you open the folder, if you're using a smart material, it'll have a folder and it'll have a lot of stuff. If you're using material, it'll just be a material. The smart materials have stuff like sharpen, the coloration. You can change dust particles, spots. This is where you can get into the details, like really deep. Scratches, you can get rid of them. You want it brand new? You want it used up? You know, a lot of stuff like that. Again, you'll have to experiment and play with everything. It's not really something that can be taught. I was taught, and then I was kind of like, I still don't get this, and I jumped on, and after like a month of playing with it, I was like, oh yeah, this is easy. Like you just got to get used to how this moves a little weird because you got to hold Alt to move around on Substance Painter. So you have to hold Alt and then you left click and you move around like in Blender. I think this is right click and shift or something, or like, yeah. So it's a little weird, but so now the other thing is, like, you don't have to click bolts to put something on bolts here. You can just grab what you want and drop it on the bolts, and it'll texture it on the bolts. Then you can, for the rail, I don't know, so you can get crazy with it. I don't want to do another red one. Here you can do like this copper. Yeah, see, that's looking kind of cool. So now you have your rail, your textures how you want it. Now you could just basic bitch it like that, no worries. Or you could do more details. So this is kind of what makes or breaks texturing and why people, you know, so like this is, I make assets like this, yeah, but like I do a lot of stuff that you don't see, and it's not too impactful on noticing the features of it, but like to me, I notice it and it makes big differences, and over time I'm developing ways to make it more noticeable, you know, stuff like that, but I can't really teach that. That's something you're just going to have to work on over time of trial and error, stuff like that. But anyways, so like say this black part here, if you want to put a sticker, you could go ahead and head over to my Discord and grab something like a sticker, for instance. I got stickers, decals. These are all stickers and decals. Which one do I like? I like this one. I don't know why. I just really like this one. But go ahead and grab it. In Substance Painter here, at the bottom, you have your shelf. When you click like this sticker, for instance, and drag it in down here to your shelf, it'll bring this box up. All you got to do is change the undefined to whatever it is. Alpha gives you a black and white vector of the image. These two, I don't really know. I haven't played enough with them. And texture is what you want to put it as. Import your resources too. If you do shelf, it'll import this sticker to your Substance Painter shelf folder. So that means it'll always be in your Substance Painter when you start up the program. If you put it to the HD render pipeline. It'll start building a folder in there, which I would not suggest doing. That's just clutter. And then current session is if you just want to use it right now, and when you close Substance Painter, it just deletes it from its files and it's not there. But it's still on your object, you know, if you saved it, but it's not in Substance Painter anymore, which is usually what I do because I go through so many things. So we'll go ahead and click that. Now I have it here down on my shelf. So now on this black foot, you want to come down here and click your feet. Close that folder. You want to click this layer here. This layer here is just a layer they give you for your item or your object automatically. You can delete it. Honestly, it doesn't do anything. It's not a layer that you see. But I keep it and I just drag it above whatever I did, and I use it as my first layer for whatever I want to do up here. So now I have my first layer. We're gonna just call it stickers. Come over here on the left side. You're going to go to projection, the third one down, or you could push 3 on your keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are these tools right here. And then F1 is a split mode with the map and the object. F2 is just the object. F3 is just the map. So if you wanted to paint on the map, you can do it here. Good luck. I don't know how that works really, but you pretty much should take it to Photoshop at that point. But now you have this that you want. You're going to click projection. You're going to come down to that face you had, and over here in properties, you're going to go ahead and drag that face onto base color. Now we're going to go ahead and click S and right click and go up or down. It'll size it. And then clicking the mouse wheel in will move it. But you have to hold S during this whole process. So we're going to go ahead and put that right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn off all of this but color. And then just paint it. And now you have your sticker painted on. So that's pretty much how I put the stickers on, paint the stickers. Now, if you wanted to take the rail and you're like, I want to use it, like make it used, click rail. You're going to come down here, hit your X again. You're going to go to scratch. The other one I use a lot is dirt. There's all types of scratches here. This one works kind of decent for the rails. You're going to want to come up here to where your rail layers are, bring that layer above again, and you're going to use this layer to draw your scratches. Now I like to go silverish, like grayish, I guess. Also, depending on how rough you want it, you can do the height down a little bit so there kind of looks like it's scraped into the rail. You know, yeah, as you see, it looks a little uniform, right? Yeah. So I would definitely manually do it like this, because if you try to do it like you just saw, if you click and you hold shift and then click again, it'll draw like a line. But I feel like this looks better manually. Sorry, rails are hard to move around on. But you know, and then you could drop the height all the way down and then really indent on the rail, like your scratches and stuff. So that's pretty cool. You could raise the height and put like bubbles and grunge marks on the rail, stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get too crazy with it because a lot of it does just stem off creativity. As you saw, it took me like 2 seconds to throw textures on here, but then, you know, you can sit here and really decide what you want to do with it altogether. So, but yeah, this is pretty much my video. Like I said, guys, I'm really tired, so I can't really get too in depth in this right now. But this is just the basics of how to get something textured in Substance. Now, when you're done with this, you're going to go ahead and go to File and Save As. And you're going to save it in that folder as curved. Oh, no. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Round P-Rail. And you're going to save it in your P-Rail folder. And now the other thing we're going to do is go to File, Export. And you're going to go over here. And you're going to see you have your bolts, your feet, and your rails all checked. You're going to come over here. You're going to go to Output Directory. And you're going to go to whatever folder you're using to store it, which in our case is that round P-Rail folder, which I put the texture folder inside. So you're going to click the texture folder now, and you're going to select that. And you're going to hit Export. And that's going to export your textures. Now, for me, what I do is I take a picture of my rail in Substance because that's what I use to post it. So what I'm going to do is just take a quick picture. So I just set it up how I want it, and I click this little camera up here for rendering iRay. And then I bring it into this render mode. I let my GPU figure out how to render it. And then, yeah, I just snap a picture real quick. So that's for my data purposes. But so now Substance Painter is done. That's done. So now in your P-Rail folder, you should have, a Blender file, an FBX file, a Substance Painter file. Now, like, if I could go back to my rail, if my collider was messed up, delete it and fix it in Blender and save it. And as long as I don't edit the shape of anything on the rails or anything, then my Substance Painter will be fine. If I edit the shapes, I need to open my Substance Painter back up and then drag the new FBX that I saved into Substance over the old one, and it'll update it. As long as you don't change anything, you just let it update it. But yeah, if you don't change anything, you're good to just keep doing it back and forth. But yeah, so now you go in your texture folder. It's going to look weird. Go off the names. That's why it's very important to name. I like to organize my stuff, so I'll make a folder bolts. I'll make a folder rail. And I'll make a folder for feet. And you want the first two, which is the base map and the mask. You don't really need the normal. So the normal just, I don't know, you don't need it. So you want to click the first two for bolts, put them in bolts. Click these two for the feet, put them in feet. And click these two for the rail, put them in rail. Delete these three. And that's it. You got your asset ready to put in Unity and go. You're going to drag this into Unity. You're going to put these into Unity, and you're going to make a material for each one, and you're going to drag those onto the object, and you're good to go. And then set up your collider. So I hope this helped somebody. Like I said, guys, really tired tonight. I'm barely hanging in here. So I appreciate anybody that is getting help from this. I know there's a lot of people that are hitting me up now. I got no problem helping everybody out and everything. I just ask that everybody bear with me because I can only help so many people at once and in so many orders. So I do have a couple people that were kind of tripping, like, hey, you haven't hit me. And I'm like, yo, I'm trying my best. Like, so just know, guys, I'm trying to do what I can. Keep this community running and alive in some way. I'm seeing a lot of creators come back due to like me doing stuff, or like come out of the shadows to say that they're not going to stop. Like, they're going to keep doing what they do. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate the support from people. So we'll keep doing what we're doing. Just keep enjoying this game, man. It's a fun game. I love it. I wouldn't be sitting here wasting my time doing all this and learning all this if I didn't like it. So it's a shame Easy Days taking it in the direction they are, but we'll prevail. We'll pull through, and I'll see you guys in the next video.